It is the longest day of the year, but it is also the best day of the year. For the 35th time and the third consecutive year in Salt Lake City, the Pac-12's elite meet to decide the conference championship. It is the Pac-12 Gymnastics Championships for 2022. And for the first time ever, 4 teams shared the Pac-12 regular season title. Utah, California, Oregon State, and Arizona State will all meet later tonight. That's session 2. But we're going to begin our day with session 1. UCLA, Stanford, Washington, and Arizona. One of those 4 teams will put up the score to beat for the rest of the day. Hi everybody, I'm Jim Watson alongside the Olympic gold medalist Amanda Borden, and welcome to the Maverik Center, where we're expecting a capacity crowd and a new look. Now in the past, if you've been with us, we used to go 1 at a time. You saw every gymnast. Now the coaches have changed that. We're going to go 4 at a time. We're speeding things up. How does it affect the gymnasts?
Well, it is a fast pace, which the gymnasts are going to prefer because they warm up and get right to their action. For everybody else, it's a 4-ring circus of high energy, and there's going to be unbelievable gymnastics happening on all 4 events at the same time.
Makes it tougher for us, and nobody cares. Let's talk about UCLA. It comes in the favorite in the first session. UCLA had a rocky road on the way here to Salt Lake City. They're the winningest team in conference history, 19 titles, but they only finished 5th in the regular season, so first time ever. They're in the day session. They can still win it. They're loaded, and they're led by the Olympic silver medalist, the great Jordan Chiles.
Well, she is a fierce competitor. She's got the perfect balance of difficulty and perfection. In fact, she's earned 3 perfect 10s, 1 on the uneven bars, 2 on the floor exercise, and I had a chance to catch up with her on practice day, and she is so excited to be here. She loves being back on the podium, and she said this UCLA team is ready for this.
3 perfect 10s for Chiles this year. Stanford, the biggest threat to UCLA. In fact, during the year, Stanford beat UCLA. They're coming off their best score, and they feature Kyla Bryant, who leads Stanford on every event.
Well, the 5th-year senior is dynamic powerhouse. On the mat, she has high-flying gymnastics. Off the mat, it's her personality and her radiant smile that has helped lead this season to success for Stanford, but she's also put up individual career highs on vault, beam, and all around. It's going to be a great day of gymnastics. Stanford
and UCLA meet again, but Washington and Arizona have pulled off their own upsets this year. It all makes for a great way to start the day. 8 teams, 2 sessions, 1 trophy, the Pac-12 Gymnastics Championships, live on the Pac-12 Network. Pac-12 Women's Gymnastics, brought to you by Clean Simple Eats. Eat clean, keep it simple, and get results. It is a beautiful day in Salt Lake City, unseasonably warm. It's 55 degrees outside, but of course, storm coming in tomorrow. So come on inside the Maverik Center. Here's the competition format. Now these are seeds 5 through 8. UCLA, the 5 seed, will start in the Olympic order. They begin on vault. Stanford on bars. Washington had the choice, so they decided to start on floor rather than start on beam. So a little gamesmanship already?
Absolutely.
Are they avoiding the beam, or are they saving it?
Well, you know, they had a great performance in this rotation order just a few weeks back. In fact, it was their highest score of the season, and so they felt like it was a good strategy.
So because we can't show you every individual event on this broadcast, you can go on and stream it, and you can watch any event anytime you want. pac-12.com/now to find the 4 links, so you can actually follow your team around. The only difference on that side, of course, you're not going to have the analysis of Amanda Borden. You're going to be on your own over there. But now you can watch anything you want, whenever you want, or stay with us here. Better yet, have 2 screens on. Again, it's pac-12.com/now to find the 4 links. UCLA, the 5 seed. The Bruins actually have a losing record. It's strange to see UCLA coming in this session. They've never been in the day. No team has ever won out of the day session. UCLA finished 5th, but you can forget all that because UCLA's last 2 scores were their best, including a 198-050 against California. Nora Flatley, the senior, for the last time at the Pac-12 Championships, will begin our afternoon. She is an ideal leadoff, especially on this event, because she's consistent. Not huge scores, but always 9-8 plus. And you want a steady veteran to start things off and get the ship turned in the right direction. 4 teams now, 4 teams later tonight, and the crowd will continue to fill the Maverik Center. It's a wonderful event, and we have 7 gymnasts in this meet today with Olympic pedigree.
This is a great place for UCLA to be starting. They have dynamic vaults. They've really started cleaning up their landings. In fact, 4 of the vaults they're competing here today start from 10.0s. That gives them a slight advantage if they can stay clean on those landings. This is quite a long time for Nora to wait. There she gets the signal. Performing a layout Yurchenko full. And a great start. The key on this event is power, height. Of course, the technique is what gets the strong landings.
Washington begins on the floor. It was their choice, and they're going to lead off with their best gymnast, the great Skylar Killow-Wilhelm. Sophomore, but she is so much more than that. 34 of her 43 scores have been at least 9-8. That's 80% of the time.
Opening up front, double full. Just a few weeks back, like I mentioned, they competed at the Metroplex. Starting on the floor exercise, they got their highest team score. For Washington, this has been an event where they don't have a lot of depth, so they've had to really work the system trying to be clean on their tumbling passes. Nice combination pass.
This is the event in which Skylar made a big jump this year. 6 times she's gone 9-8 or better. She had a 9-9 against Utah on February 21st. That was a great meet for the Gym Dogs of UW. Jen Llewellyn, former Jen Kessler from Oregon State, the head coach at the University of Washington now, has already turned that program around. They're ranked 29th. They're going to host a regional, and so they'll be home. There's been a change already for UCLA in the second spot in the vault. Flatley goes 9-8, like we expected, but now it's Emma Malabuyo instead of Brooklyn Moores. Malabuyo has more fun than anybody else in collegiate gymnastics. She's always dancing, she's always talking, and Amanda, literally, she's always smiling.
She is. Well, when I saw her earlier in the season, you know, Emma was a phenomenal elite gymnast, and she said she is just absolutely loving college gymnastics because of the atmosphere and getting to perform in front of friends and fans. And it's always one of my favorite things to see elite gymnasts carrying on and enjoying their college career. Of course, she's having to wait again. The judges are finalizing, making sure everything's correct.
And of course, during the season, we have 2 judges in here. We'll have 4 judges on each event. Don Palangi, the assistant coach for UCLA, comes over just to reset things for her. Malabuyo, one of the best moments of the gymnastics season was when she had a perfect 10 in the season finale against Davis. On vault, she's always 9-8 or better.
Another Yurchenko layout full. Those landings, anytime there's a slide of the feet, it is a deduction. It's open to the judges. Of course, the layout full starts from a 9.95. So even if done perfect, the best score she could get is a 9.95 on that event.
We're going to check in with Stanford over on the bars, and that'll be Maddie Brunette. She's on a streak of 6 straight 9-8 or better. But that ended recently. So now she wants to get back to form. She did have a 9.875 against UCLA, a meet that Stanford won at Maples Pavilion.
Combination right here into a release move. Directly connected down to the low bar. Wow, great job catching in that full extension. Really important so she gets enough swing. Winding up, double layout. Dropping it in for that perfect landing.
Bars have been a good event for Stanford. They're 5th best in the conference, 29th in the country, and they've gone 49 or better 7 times, including their last 3. You expect to have your best gymnastics as you arrive at Pac-12s, and that's the way it's been for Stanford. That's the way certainly it is for UCLA. Came off 2 big scores, 1 over 198 in their final 2 meets. We talked about Jordan Childs at the top, the Olympic silver medalist. Well, she's been simply outstanding this year, and she has had 3 10s on floor twice and on bars once. How is she on vault? Well, like everything else, she's terrific. 7 scores of 9.875, 4 straight career highs she's posted, 9-9. She did it against Arizona State, Washington, Cal, and then in the final home meet against Davis. There were a lot of distractions that day. Of course, the final home meet always means senior day. A lot of emotions, a lot of alumni back. Flatley went 9-8. Malabuyo only a 9.775, just a touch under her average. Here comes Jordan Childs.
A unique fault right here, that forward entry. Cause full. Takes so much power. You see the Yurchenko over and over. The round off onto the board, back handspring onto the table. Any of the vaults that come in with a forward entry really require great speed. That was nicely done.
Arizona has begun its afternoon on the balance beam. And that's Taylor Spears, the assistant coach right there, who knows a thing or two about the balance beam. She was a national champion at Oklahoma in 2014, so that's a friendly face when you're up there on the world's smallest stage. We saw the scores come in already. I believe Fears had a 9-8.
Tumbling element, back handspring layout, step out, little bobble. First routine we've seen on the balance beam. Remember, it's only 4 inches wide. You'll see the gymnast performing a variety of skills. The tumbling elements down to those simple or seem simple elements like the full turn. So far, they've been solid. Arizona's put up 2 scores, 9-8.
Yep, that was Allison Pierce and Carolyn Harry. And this is Elena Dietz. Dietz has been great on beam 4 times. She's got 9-8 or better. They would love that score here.
This has been a great event for Arizona. They've put scores above 49 consistently. I had a chance to talk to head coach John Court, and he said this is one of the best teams Arizona's had in many years, but they need to hit 24 for 24, and so far 3 up on beam, and they've hit those 3 routines. It's not an easy event to start on.
Well, the biggest shock this year, of course, in the Pac-12, Arizona beating Utah down in Tucson. Arizona had never beaten Utah in gymnastics in 65 tries, and they beat them. And it's because, like you just said, they were clean that entire meet, and Utah had to count a fall on beam. So Arizona expecting that exact same kind of day. They need things to fall right for them. They want to be clean. They want to post a number. Now, if you're familiar with the basketball tournament, gymnastics is similar, and from here, you go to regionals. 6 of the teams in the conference, and there's only 8 in the Pac-12 practice gymnastics. 6 are already into the regionals. The other 2, Arizona, Washington, feel very strong about their chances. We'll talk more about it. This was moments ago. Sakai Wright for UCLA on the vaults.
She performs Yurchenko 1.5 twists. It starts from a 10.0, much riskier vault, harder to land.
Defending champion on this event from last year, twice has gone 9.875. She'll need better than that to defend the title.
Nice power, good height. Oh, came up a little short there. That's what makes it so challenging, the blind landings. Anytime you land with your feet slightly in front like that, she did a great job of just taking steps back and not sitting that down.
You don't watch a lot of gymnastics. 6 will compete on each event. You can drop your low score. This is Kyla Bryant, who we also talked about at the top, a defending champion as well at the Pac-12s, but that was on floor. She's fantastic on everything. Here on bars, well, her first 5 were 9.8 plus, but she's only been that high once in her last 4. 78% of her scores this year have been at least 9.8. She is Stanford's best gymnast on all 4 events, and obviously she's their best all-arounder as well.
Well, Stanford just had a slip up on the uneven bars. So that's going to be the score they want to drop. Kyla is powerful and dynamic, and she brings that even to the uneven bars, opening with a huge release. Nice Tkachev. The key to the uneven bars is not just hitting the high flying elements, but of course getting those vertical handstands, the good form, details, and then finishing it up. Ooh, nice save there. With a great landing, double layout. Came off a hair early, so you could see when she landed, her momentum was pulling her forward.
So Killa Wilhelm just 9.675, then a 9.8. And Geneva Thompson now on the floor for Washington. So already teams are having to make some adjustments. We've seen lineup changes already, and we've seen miscues already. Nerves at the biggest meet.
Opening with the combination whip to double tuck. Oh, looked like her foot touched the white. That'll be 1/10 of a deduction. Geneva only performs 2 tumbling passes. It's a new trend we're seeing in college gymnastics. Here at the championship, the equipment is on the podium, and that does affect the floor exercise. You get a little more bounce. Of course, can also affect the athletes going out of bounds, so the key is staying in control. Finishing double pike. Combination, that whip through to double tuck. Right here when she lands, you can see she just gets a rebound off the floor. She didn't go far over the white, but anytime you touch the white, it's an automatic 1/10 deduction.
4 straight 9/8 plus to start for Arizona on the beam. So it could be a dream start for the Gym Cats. They just need one more quality score. Emily Muller, the freshman from Cary, North Carolina. 7 straight on the beam have been 9/8 plus. Her best was a 9/9 against UCLA. She had a little dip at the end of the season. That 7 straight streak was mid-season.
And she's expected to be in the all-around solid landing there. Nice sharp rhythm. Confident presentation. Dismounting round off, 1.5 twist. And Arizona has put up 5 great routines. Their anchor, Serena Linton. Pressure will be off, as this has been a great opening rotation for them.
So that's that double-edged sword, and aren't all swords double-edged? maybe not a foil. 9.75 for Thompson, 9.8 for Navarro. And then should be Amara Cunningham next up for Washington. But if Arizona is able to start like that with 5 9/8s, take the pressure off the anchor, they start on beam, get that over with, post a good score. Now they feel momentum and the confidence grows.
Absolutely.
All Pac-12 on this event, and 10 of her 11 floors this year have been at least 9/8. Coming off a 9.925. In fact, she's done that twice.
Yeah, her last 2 performances have been 9.9 or better. You can see great power there in that opening tumbling pass. Washington has a variety of styles in their choreography and performance, and the coaches told me they actually create their lineup so that they have a nice flow, high energy routines throughout the rotation. Beautiful double pike. Right before competition started, there was a fan group for Washington that came in, and it made me emotional. They started cheering, the team started kind of reacting to them, and these athletes are just so excited to be back in here with their family, friends, and all these fans watching as well.
It was lonely for us in here last year, wasn't it?
It was.
Look what Arizona has done already on the beam. 2.98s to start, backed up by 9.825, 9.825, and then Muller just went 9.875. So Arizona already has a 49.125 in the bag with Serena Linton in the anchor spot.
Their season best was 49.275 this year, and the score to beat right now is a 9.8.
So she would need to go 9.9 to equal that top score.
Solid triple series. Moving right into her dance elements.
So reason she's in the anchor spot 7 straight on beam, 9.85 plus.
Dismounting, side area full twist. Wow, very impressive rotation. Taylor Spears loves it too.
.985 for Cunningham. So Washington's got a good rotation going. So strangely enough, they're looking to drop Skylar Kilhull-Wilhelm at the top. Geneva Thompson at a 9.65, so that would be the low score. Kennedy Davis and Issa Weiss still to go for the Gym Dogs. So you would expect beam to be the tougher of the opening events. Arizona having superior scores, Washington struggling on the floor, which they chose.
Opening with the combination, front 1.5 to that layout step out. Ending difficult front double full. Nice routine. Goal for most athletes is to get an E tumbling pass in. This front double full right there. Her E element.
So UCLA has already finished with its rotation on vault. I think we last saw Sakai Wright, and then they went with Kendall Poston at a 9.7. Shea Campbell was in the anchor spot. You can see the final score for UCLA. This was moments ago. Shea Campbell, UCLA needing a good score here to rescue the rotation, or it would have been under 49. And remember, this is a great event for UCLA. They're ranked 16th as a team, and this was Shea Campbell.
Incredible height. She
Just
does a great job of controlling that landing. She's put up 2 back-to-back perfect scores. Remember, a perfect score on the layout full is a 9.95, and that one's going to be close.
So they gave Campbell a 9.9, and that gave UCLA a 49.025. Well below its average, but they get to the 49 mark at least. Stanford is finished on bars. They also went 49.025. So those were our 2 favorites in this session coming in. Meantime, Arizona finishes on the beam with a 49.225. Linton got a 9.9 in the anchor spot for the Gym Cats. So Arizona is actually leading after 1 rotation. Washington still finishing on floor. Cunningham went 9.85. Kennedy Davis, Issa Weiss, the last two. And there is Jen Llewellyn. Always has a smile on her face. Don't let it fool you. She's got a real edge to her when it comes to gymnastics. She gets upset with her team when they don't perform the way they're supposed to because she knows they're better than that, and she challenges them. But it wasn't so long ago she was standing there in a leotard, and we were calling her Pac-12 gymnastics.
I know. I think right now she's awaiting the score. This first rotation, always a bit challenging. Get a good flow of the score, so the athlete's having to wait a little longer. It's never easy. They've already had to wait in this anchor position for 5 other routines to compete.
That's Jeffrey Langenstein, who handles the floor for the University of Washington, and he is hilarious. And it's fun to watch him during an event because he reacts with more emotion than the gymnasts do. Davis got a 9.85, and Weiss to close out the rotation, which right now is under 49. They need a big score.
Unique opening pass, that double pike from a round off only. Whoop. That could be an effect of having the floor on the podium. The key to controlling landings is absorbing the extra bounce. You feel that extra bounce on every event, but of course, when you're performing on springs, it just adds to it.
So not exactly what Washington had in mind. They chose to start on the floor, and they expected to do a little bit better, especially at the top. Skylar Killow-Wilhelm only went 9.675, so that kind of sent things a little sideways. Navarro and Thompson came back, or actually Navarro and Cunningham with the best scores. Then Davis throws a 9.85, so now they're all waiting to see what Weiss gets here in the anchor.
She had that little hop on that middle pass, but it should be up the 9.65, so they should see a small bump in their floor score.
So how about Arizona, who starts on beam, which people like to avoid. You only have to do it once. People want to get it behind them. Arizona was forced because they didn't get a choice where they were going to start. Everybody got to pick before them. They were forced to the beam, and what they do? They just went up and threw up an equally season high, 49.225. So the Gym Cats of the U of A leading after the first rotation, but that's gymnastics. And that's why this meet is so interesting. Remember, the top 4 seeds in the conference go later tonight. We'll give you updates on that as we move along. A 9.75 for Weiss. It is in now, so Arizona continues to lead. The Gym Cats of the U of A with a 49.225 on beam. It's one of their best scores of the year. And Arizona leads after 1 rotation. An excellent start for the University of Arizona. 49.225. Remember, Arizona was the 8th seed out of 8 teams coming in, so people weren't sure what to expect about the Gym Cats. They were forced to start on beam, and they go 49.225 to lead by 0.2 after the first rotation. Well, the best they save for last. Serena Linton in the anchor spot goes 9.9 to upgrade their score
Yeah, well, pressure was off because it already hit 5 solid routines. The low score of the rotation was a 9.8, so she was mounting the beam, hoping to beat that score. Well, she is a strong athlete on the balance beam. I believe it's the only event she's competing in today. She opened the routine with a beautiful wolf turn.
Go double on us? Yep.
And you could see right from the start how confident she was. She stepped right up for her opening element. Triple series, 2 back handsprings to the layout. Step out. Locked it right in. I always say the key to the balance beam isn't to go straight every time. It's to know how to stay on when you're not perfect.
Linton had been in the beam lineup all year long, and there's a reason that John Court put her in the anchor spot, because she's money. That is her 8th straight score of 9.85 or better as she goes 9.9. Not a season high, but it was a big score. It upgraded them by a 10th, and it takes them to 49.225.
What a great way for them to start the competition and really gear up their energy. The goal for them is to hit 24 out of 24 routines. They haven't done it this season, but they're also looking for a strong score to really guarantee a spot at regionals, which is what's next.
Meantime, both of the favorites in this session, Stanford and UCLA, below their average. Stanford had averaged 49.1, UCLA at 49.2. So both of those teams have some work to do, but they have time to do it. Move on to the second rotation. We come back to Salt Lake. The Maverik Center in West Valley City. We're just about 10 miles from the University of Utah campus, so there's going to be a lot of red in the building. The Red Rocks not in competition until later tonight when the top 4 seeds go, but Utah fans are gymnastics fans as well, and so they've shown up especially to watch UCLA, their big rival. UCLA and Stanford, UCLA and Stanford, the favorites in this first session. Shea Campbell will be the leadoff for the Bruins on bars. And Campbell has been on fire on the bars. 7 straight at 9.8 plus, including a 9.9 against California at the end of the season. 10 wins for Shea Campbell this year. Last year's Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. And of course, she has had 4 perfect scores you mentioned on vault. Her start value 9.95, so she's had 2 there. She's had 2 on floor. UCLA is a team ranked 18th coming in. It was strange to see UCLA finishing 5th this year. It went through a lot of drama during the season. It seems most of that has passed. And once again, this team is cohesive at the right time. Chris Waller on the left side has done a magnificent job keeping the Bruins together with help from Christina Conforti, Don Palangi, PJ Doss. Awesome stuff. There's Campbell.
Great release combination. She has been in this leadoff position the whole season, and this has been an event that UCLA has had some stumbles on.
A step forward on the landing.
Step forward there on a double front. Last week, though, they put up their season best, finally really starting to find their rhythm on this event, so that's what they need to stay focused on. She had that opening release combination and then finishes with a difficult double front. Takes off the bar by driving her heels, then cannot see the ground until right there. Opens up. She was smart. You don't ever want to come up short on that dismount because, of course, you get multiple steps back or even a fall. So she did take the 1/10 step forward, but a great start.
Campbell had already gone 9.9 on vault. Washington moves to the vault. And Brenna Brooks is next up. Waiting on the score for Kennedy Davis, who is in the leadoff spot for UW. And again, new format this year with 4 going at once. Coach's decision to go that route. And if you want to watch your team as they move around the room, pac-12.com/now to find the 4 links. You can watch any event on your own whenever you want to. There we go, Brenna Brooks now. for Washington. Brooks on the vault. Has had a tough time on this event. Has not reached 9.8 yet. Her best a 9.775, just as Kennedy Davis posted to lead off for the Gym Dogs.
Well, she performs a Yurchenko half. Harder to land. Oh, that one was probably the best she's done.
Save your best for the biggest meet.
Well, you know, Washington had a few lineup changes because they had an athlete come up a little bit short on a landing in the warm-up. And this is one of the events it affected. So Brenna was not supposed to be in the lineup, but boy, did she just step up there.
Taylor Lawson on beam here for Stanford. Stanford a little disappointed with their opener on bars. Wesley Stevenson just a 9.3, so that means Stanford's going to have to go 5 for 5 now.
Yeah, the good news is Taylor's been very consistent on this event. In fact, she's hit 24 out of 24 routines this season. We will also see her on the floor. But balance beam is unique, especially in a team competition.
We're going to see a standing Arabian in this routine.
Yeah, she has unique elements and is fun to watch. She's had a wonderful season this year. Right here, Jim. Half to a front flip, blind landing, and perfect landing.
Can't do it better than that.
I mean, you have to have total trust that your body's in the exact position because you cannot see the beam till your feet hit the ground. Clean leap combination to that switch half. Oh no. Back handspring layout, step out. Of course, that's 5/10 of a deduction, and now that's 2 major mistakes for Stanford on the balance beam. Gainer pike off the end.
Back to the vault. Washington Davis went 9.775. Brooks 9.8. Lana Navarro in the 3-hole. Navarro so far on vault. All of them have been good. 7 times 9.8 or better. Had a 9.9 against Utah.
Performs the 1.5 twist. Oh, went with the fall. That's one thing the coaches have been chatting about is you have to weigh out the risk versus reward by doing the more difficult vault. This one, just the full twist, but look at the form in the air. Quite a big hop there on the end.
UCLA back to the bars. Campbell went 9.8. Frida Esparza 9.825. Emma Malabuyo is next to go, and I have a score yet on Potarariu. Anna Potarariu went in the 3 spot for UCLA. We didn't see that one. And now Malabuyo talking with Chris Waller. Chris Waller, the head coach, but this is his event. He always coached it when Valerie Condos Field was at UCLA as the head coach, and Chris was the associate head coach, co-head coach. This was still his event. UCLA needs something, right? They need a jump start right now. This is not like the Bruins. Certainly not the Bruins we saw in the last 2 meets. For the meet, UCLA has posted just 1.99. That was Shea Campbell on the vault. 9.675 for Potarariu. So again, the Bruins will want to drop that score. Malabuyo, Jordan Childs, Nora Flatley to finish the rotation.
Yeah, back part of this lineup is very strong. Emma, just a freshman. Of course, Jordan, also a freshman. And then senior Nora Flatley. She'll start with release up to the high bar. Nice combination work back down. Pirouetting right on top. The key to a great landing is a great takeoff. Little hop forward, but she likes it.
Well, statistically, this is UCLA's weakest event, but they're coming off their best score of the season against Davis. In their regular season finale, they went 49-4-7-5. They're not going to get to that mark, but again, 6 compete, only 5 scores, so you can drop. Landon Dietz is scheduled next on the floor for Arizona. You saw Dietz get a 9.825 on beam in the first rotation. I understand the judges are having some computer scoring issues. They're not the only ones. You know, it's a lot because 4 scores are being inputted at once. Things have to be updated constantly. But this is the way it goes at NCAAs, and that's why they decided to change the format. It's a podium as well. We haven't talked about that. And not all of these teams have competed on podium this year.
Well, it affects the floor exercise the most. It adds bounce to all 4 events. Of course, the floor is already springy, so the key is to just stay in control and really absorb landings. For athletes that have competed in the elite scene where almost every meet is on a podium, they get so excited to be back. It does have some forgiveness in all the landings as well. This has been a consistent event for Arizona. Clean combination to start. Already mentioned the trend we're seeing with the 2 tumbling pass routines. Elena performs only 2 passes as well, so you see a little more choreography. You see the athletes earning some of their bonus requirements back in their dance elements. Finishing right there with a clean double tuck.
Back to the bars, UCLA Malabuyo goes 9.8. UCLA had to have that, so now they have 3 9.8s plus. And Jordan Childs about to mount the bars. Childs 4 times has gone 9.9 or better. Went 9.975 against California and a 9.95 against Davis in her last 2. Big release mover.
Wow. Yeah, she catches in full extension. And look at that handstand holding on top, releasing back up. It's not over. Right into an inside ginger, legs glued together. And oh no.
Gotta hold it, gotta fight it.
Oh, wow. She just got a little loose in her lower back. What a great job staying on the bars. That will be a deduction, but it could have been a fall.
She fought through it. Oh, it's gonna knock her score down. She had a 9.85 earlier on vault.
Yeah, right there, she made a great adjustment to do the pirouette, but she came up short on both of those handstands. So anytime you're not in the vertical position, they can take deductions, but way to regroup, finishing full twist double back and stuck the landing.
There's Tabitha Yim, who was a fantastic gymnast back in the time. 2-time Pac-12 and regional all-around champion. She was the Pac-12 beam champion as well. So who do you want to talk to before you mount the beam? How about a former champion? And Tabitha has done a marvelous job. Have some fun with it. Keep Kyla Bryant loose.
Yeah, giving her those last-minute walkthroughs about how to relax, how to lock in. But then, hey, remember, fifth-year senior, have some fun up there, too.
Bryant started her day with a 9.75 on bars. She is an all-arounder. There are a handful of them today, and most of them are household names. I gypped earlier this season. I had Stanford at Oregon State, and Kyla Bryant was not in the meet. A loss in her family. She skipped that meet. I just really wanted to see her in person. So I was looking forward to this meet so I could see Kyla Bryant.
Well, she's always been one of my favorites. Lights up the room with her big smile, and these athletes that have had the opportunity to take a fifth year, I'm grateful I get to watch them for an additional year.
She's gone as high as 9.975 on beam this year, but her last two scores on beam have been her lowest of the year. Forget all that, she's also gone 9.8 or better 4 times.
Tumbling element right here. Back handspring, layout step out. Locking down, little bobble. Holds on to it though. Look at the amplitude on this. Switch jump, very difficult. And that's the power that she brings even to the balance beam. Again, right here, she performs a front tuck. So high on the landing. And dismounts here in combination, 2 back handsprings to a double tuck. Big power. Oh, had to take a few steps back on the landing. We're actually going to see a few athletes perform the doubles off beam. It is much more challenging than the twisting that we typically see.
Well, testament to the pressure in the Pac-12 championships. We've seen big names. Jordan Childs had problems on bars. Kyla Bryant, little problem here on her dismount, big step back.
Yeah, she pulled her feet through as she landed. She didn't need to. She had plenty of power and rotation. Kind of just misjudged that landing.
Just a couple of minutes ago, over on the vault, Washington and Geneva Thompson, who was in the 5 spot, they had already gone 9.775, a couple of 9.8s, and a 9.75. So they needed to close strong with Thompson and Amara Cunningham. And this is what Geneva Thompson did about 2 minutes ago.
She has a lot of power, and she's very quick twitch. The key is getting a great takeoff position so she can drop in for a tight landing. Little hop back, but great control.
She gets a 9.85, so that means that's 10 straight vaults for her this year, at least 9.85. Big score, and it set up Amara Cunningham, who went 9.875 in the anchor spot to give them a 49.1 for the rotation on vault. How about our leader, Arizona? How has it been going for them? Well, over on floor, Libby Orman started with a 9.75. Emily Muller, 9.8. Elena Dietz, 9.775. And that takes us to Allison Fears.
I believe this is actually Caroline Harry.
Yeah, Fierce just went 9.825, so this is Caroline Harry.
And last week she went 9.95 on this floor routine. Their low score right now, that 9.75, that's what they're trying to beat out. Nice double tuck to start the routine.
Caroline has been hot on the floor, 9 straight at 9.85, and is coming off a season best. In fact, it's a career best, 9.95 against BYU.
Beautiful combination, effortless, as she punched into that layout. And see, John Court makes his way around the floor, corner to corner, to cheer them on. It's her final tumbling pass, double pike.
So Arizona protecting that .2 lead after the first rotation. And so far so good, but the score's just a little muted. Only one has reached the 9-8 level, and that was Dietz at 9.825. Meantime, Stanford on the beam. Stevenson and Lawson had trouble. Navarro with the 9.8. Nault 9.9. Bryant just a 9.675. Chloe Widner, and again in the position here in the anchor, having to come up with a score for Stanford. And Widner, a late add to the beam lineup this season, had a 9.85 and a tri-meet at Washington.
Well, she's dynamic and powerful on this event. Beautiful control there on her tumbling pass. Solid front aerial to that split jump. She has nice extension through her legs and her toe point, so on her splitting elements, they look so elegant. And dismounting side area full twist. Good for her. That was not a great rotation for Stanford, so pressure on that final spot.
Yeah, they had to have it just to stay in the meet. So Washington, UCLA, and Stanford now have finished their rotations. We have scores already for Washington on vault, 49.150. For UCLA on bars, a 49.125. And waiting for Widner's score for Stanford. So we go back to the floor. Pierce had gotten a 9.75. Do we have a score for Harry? Yes, Caroline Harry got a 9.8. And Malia Hargrove to finish it.
Malia, one of the athletes for Arizona that competes in the all-around. She has a difficult opening tumbling pass. Full twisting double back. And perfect. Stepping back right into that lunge. That should be the high score for Arizona on this event, which is good news, right? They're trying to knock out that 9.75. This has been another solid rotation for this team.
That's about as serious as you're going to see John Court all day. There's nobody more relaxed in a gym than John Court. I think I talked to him 3 or 4 times before the meet. He was laughing the whole time and trying to keep his team loose. You know, walking in, he said, look, we're looking for like a 196.375. I'd love a 196.6 today. They're off to a good start. That is in play right now.
Well, this was a great tumbling pass to finish up her routine. Clean double tuck. This team's got some good energy going. They got 2 more events to go.
So now just waiting on the final score here for Malia Hargrove. And again, we'll tell you the other scores that ran already. Washington vault, 49.15. UCLA bars, 49.125. And did we get a final yet on Stanford for the rotation? 48.575. Yeah. Yep, and that's disappointing for the Cardinal, puts them further behind. So now all eyes on the scoreboard to see what Hargrove gets. The score right now, the subtotal for the rotation is a 48-9. They're trying to drop a 9.75. We expect that to go down and the score to go up.
That concludes the second rotation. Gymnasts, please move to your third event and prepare for touch warm-up to begin. Arizona on ball, Washington on ball.
Well, they're still working on it, so we'll step aside. We'll do the math when we come back. We expect Arizona to still be leading as the Maverik Center continues to fill up. It's the Pac-12 Championships live on the Pac-12 Network. So things have changed a little bit, but not dramatically. Arizona continues to lead as Arizona went 49-025 on the floor for a 98-250. UCLA now is right behind by a tenth at 98-150. Washington third, 98-075. Washington just went 49-150 on the vault. And we look back in the anchor spot at Amara Cunningham and what she did to close out the rotation. Washington was looking to drop a 9.75.
Well,
so she needed something better than that.
Amara is a powerful gymnast. She has great speed on the run. She's performing a Yurchenko layout full here.
All 11 of her vaults prior to coming in were 9.8 or better, and so was this one.
Great control there on that landing.
She gets a 9.875 for the effort and bumps the rotation to 49.150. And for Washington on vault, that is above their average. So that is a good answer. Meantime, Stanford was over on the beam. Brennan Ault was in the 4 spot. They had already had trouble on 2 routines. Navarro had gone 9.8, and then Nault stepped up.
Unique to start her routine. Most challenging part about balance beam is when you've had a rocky start is finding the rhythm. The back 4 in their lineup did stay on the balance beam. Back handspring layout, step out. You can see she has nice fluid rhythm. You see a variety of different styles on the balance beam. Some have that sharp, rigid movement, some more of a flowing style. The key is to find the style where you feel most confident on this event. Clean front aerial.
Pac-12 Team Green is the first of its kind in collegiate athletics.
Setting up for the dismount. Excuse me, lead pass switch ring, very difficult, dropping her head back. Now comes the dismount. That round off 1.5 twist and holding on to the landing. I mean, she didn't have a bobble through that entire routine.
And the judges rewarded her with a 9.9. It's not her highest of the year, but just behind it. It's a good answer. Stanford for the rotation, only a 48.575. They trail our leader, Arizona, by more than a half a point. Skylar Kilho-Wilhelm once again will lead off for Washington as they move to the bars in the 3rd rotation. Washington sitting in 3rd place right now at 98.075. Again, Arizona is our leader at 98.250. And between those 2 teams lies UCLA. It has not been a great day for Skylar Kilho-Wilhelm, and she is a terrific gymnast. As she steps to the bars, all 11 of her scores have been 9.8. The last 7 straight have been 9.85. So if Skylar's looking for a breakthrough, maybe the bar is the place to find it. Her best of the year on 9.925 came on the road at Arizona State. That is a career high for her.
I think the biggest goal for this Washington team on the uneven bars is to hit 6 out of 6 routines. They have a good variety, a lot of different unique elements, but it's hitting the details in every single routine Switching that grip right off the top, moving into that pike Jaeger, directly connected down to the low bar, very nice. Beautiful handstand, combination, giant blind. That front giant, immediate double tuck. And that might be it.
Good for her, yep. You can see it lets out all that emotion, that frustration from early. And she's still got one more. Jordan Childs next up on beam for UCLA. Patriario already got a 9-9 for the Bruins to start the rotation. And again, if you want to watch your team all the way through, pac-12.com/now. You can find links to any of the 4 events. You can watch that event. You can follow your team around. Going 4 at a time this year for the first time.
Jordan, such a fun performer to watch on this particular event. We've seen a variety of different routines this season.
And she's been a little hot and cold on beam, but is coming in hot right now off a career high 9.925 against California 2 weeks ago.
Well, that was the biggest change, was her tumbling series. For these elite athletes, you have to remember they had routines packed with 15, 20 skills, a variety of elements. And so as they come to college, the biggest goal is to figure out what skill set can you do consistently every single time and shoot for perfection. When it comes to her tumbling element, she has so many different options. Next up is her side summy. Oh, little leaned back. Wow, great save. That could have been a major wobble. Those side elements are challenging because if your heels drop down, it's very easy to lean back. And she wraps this routine up with the difficult dismount, like we saw Kyla Bryant, the double flip, and a great landing. You know, she had a brilliant bar routine going, and she tipped that final cast. She did a great job saving it, and still went 9.85, but it wasn't her best. And I think she's going to be really excited about this routine, especially a clean landing on the double pike. Starting that celebration, that's that energy you see from her.
So on each of her events, she's had a bobble, but then she's come back to save the routine and post a pretty good score. And I just love her positive energy. So they already had the 9.9 from Patriario, which is ties for the highest score on beam. We'll see what they award Childs. Meantime, Arizona on the vault, our leader, 9.8 from Castles moments ago. This is Maverik now. Jessica Castles, the high score so far for Arizona.
The vault's right in front of us, and I actually heard John Court telling his team, guys, we got to go big. We're not going to worry about the landings, but we want to be clean on the landings. That's something that they've been really focusing on.
Hallie Mayberry, a local product, born and raised in Tucson. 9.8 against Oregon State on this vault.
Layout full. Landed a little off center, so I had to take that cross step back.
Nora Flatley quickly on beam for UCLA, just started.
Nora is beautiful on this event.
Reliable, unflappable, all the things you want to hear. You're talking about a beam performer, 9.95 against California.
That tumbling series, 3 elements, 1 forward into the back handspring layout step out. And she was a little off center, but what Nora does so well is her presentation as she settles into the landing hides a lot of mistakes that could be deductions. That gives her the ability to put up the big scores on this event.
UCLA a chance to make a move right now. Patriario got a 9.9. Jordan Childs got her third 9.85 of the day. So UCLA on pace for a big rotation on beam.
Dismounting, back handspring layout, 1.5 twist.
And that can only help. UCLA was very positive coming in, even though they were only 5th during the regular season. They thought it was an advantage to be in this session and go in the Olympic order. In the meantime, Arizona faltering. Having a tough time of things over on vault. Danny Nosek for Arizona.
That was an improvement there. Good power, position in the air, much cleaner landing.
She's got 9.825 4 times this year. That's her best. The score should be close to that. So Arizona's lead went from 0.2 to 1/10. And now they're in danger of giving up the lead. Shea Campbell ready to mount for the Bruins on beam. UCLA putting pressure on. No score yet from Flatley. UCLA still with Campbell, Samantha Sakti, who is a beam specialist, and Emma Malabuyo, who just got that 10. Flatley scores in a 9.925. So 3 great scores for UCLA to start the beam rotation. Campbell 5th at the NCAAs on this event. A year ago, twice has gone 9.9.
Watch the amplitude here. Back handspring layout, step out. Little off balance, nice job. The key is getting the back foot down, finding your balance. Nice combination work there. Shea is a taller gymnast, so her gymnastics has a nice long look on every event. UCLA known for being performers, especially on the floor exercise, but they bring it to the balance beam in the choreography, holding on there with that gainer layout full.
Campbell has already gone 9.9 on vault, 9.8 on bars, expecting a good score here. She's in the all-around, and you can feel the energy from UCLA over on the beam now as Arizona's trying to answer. Nosek got a 9.75 on her vault for the Gym Cats. Back to the floor. This is Maddie Burnett after back-to-back 9.8s for Stanford by Brenna Nault and Ana Paula Gutierrez.
Front layout to that front 1.5 twist. She was very low on that front layout. That gave her a big block into the 1.5 twist. Nice double tuck. Just a few weeks back, she went out of bounds. So I know she's gonna be pleased with that routine.
Malia Hargrove got a 9.875 anchor spot for Arizona on the vault. Keeps them right in the meet, but only a 48.9 for the rotations. The Sakti now on the beam for UCLA. UCLA's low score so far in the beam rotation, a pair of 9.85s.
Oh, nice save. She does the leap into the tumbling element. She has nice height. Just looked a little off balance as she landed.
Last 2 beam scores for Sakti have been very nice, 9.875 and a 9.9. Her best at Stanford, a 9.95 on beam. Only event scheduled for Sakti today.
Combination side area full twist. So that small bobble, but that's still gonna be 5 great scores. Again, pressure off on Emma Malabuyo, who got her first perfect 10 on the balance beam. Just a few weeks back when we saw him going against Cal, she earned a 9.975. So
Malia Hargrove, we told you moments ago, with the high mark for Arizona, anchor spot on the vault. Ended up with a 9.875. We look back at it now. She had gone 9.8 or better 5 times, a 9.9 against Oregon State. So this ends up being her second best vault of the year.
you could see she was fighting to not move at all on that landing.
Still just below 49 for Arizona, so they're showing some fight, but they started out slow in the rotation and had to rally. How's it going for Washington over on the bars? Washington, their low score, the 9.65 by Brooks. They've gone 9.8 by Kilho Wilhelm, 9.75 Taylor Russin. Brooks is 9.65. They want to drop. Geneva Thompson went 9.825. Lauren Thomas got a 9.775. So that's where they stand right now at a 48.8. And of course, we're keeping an eye on the scoreboard with UCLA, whose low score, a 9.8. And UCLA looks like they're going to take over the lead here in session number 1.
High flying release move, directly connected down to the low bar. A little short there on that final cast. Lots of speed moving into the double layout. And a great landing there.
Yeah, and that's a nice moment for her because she had been struggling on bars of late. We never like to say it before they mount the apparatus. So it personally and professionally for her, that's a great moment.
And that's definitely going to knock out the 9.65 they're hoping to drop.
Yep. You know, if she had any doubts before she got on the bars, they went away quick. She might have been a little short on her cast, just playing it safe. But she accomplished exactly what she was going for. Turn our attention over to Stanford on the floor, where they already went 9.8 with Nault and Gutierrez. Maddie Burnett went 9.85. Don't have a score yet on Lawson. Morgan Huang now. And now the score is in on Lawson, 9.85. So 4 9.8 pluses for Stanford on the floor. And they still have Morgan and Kyla Bryant. And you got to see Kyla Bryant on the floor. It's exactly what Stanford did to get back into this thing. Morgan has gone 9.9 or better 4 times this year. This would be a perfect spot for another.
Big opening tumbling pass double layout. Beautiful. Overstretching that straddle jump. Holding that clean landing. Holding on there, finishing double pike.
So they're in the books now, over 49. Now they just need Kyla Bryant. So the important thing for Morgan Wong there is now she's taken all the pressure off Bryant, and now she can just let it go. UCLA with that great beam rotation. Sakti had gone 9-8. They were looking to drop that score with Emma Malabuyo in the anchor. Remember, she had a 10 last week on this event.
Started the routine with her tumbling pass, back handspring layout, step out. She had a smile on her face. She knew she was dead straight. Coming right back with her front aerial.
She'd already won 5 times on the beam coming in, so it's one of her best events.
Beautiful flexibility, dropping her head back on that second jump to the ring position. Little Carlton. Sometimes you watch these routines, they look like they're having so much fun, and you forget, it's only 4 inches wide. They make it look easy, but I promise it's not. And a dismount combination back handspring layout, step out
there you go.
To that full twist. So the only deduction was the balance check on that front aerial.
Malabuyo ends up with a 9.85. They're able to drop Sakti's 9.8 for UCLA. It is a robust 49.375. Remember that last year at Pac-12s, the beam was the downfall for UCLA. Now, it's their best rotation so far. And we go back to the floor, and Kyla Bryant. Morgan Huang got a 9.85, so their low score is a 9.8. That's all Bryant needs to improve on. Bryant, Pac-12 co-champion on the floor. All 9 of her floors this year, at least 9.9. In the UCLA meet, she was the anchor. She was the last to perform, needed an almost perfect score, and got an almost perfect score, a 9.975 to beat the Bruins.
Watch the air here. Full twisting double back. She makes you just want to sit back and enjoy watching this routine. Such a great performer. Final pass, that open double tuck. Five years we've gotten to watch her perform on this event. And you know what? Yeah, I'll get a chance to tell her thank you. It's definitely one of my favorite performances, and that did not disappoint.
Well, she comes from Georgia, went to Stanford. And she said she Googled Stanford, and what she read online was it's not just a 4-year commitment, it's a lifelong connection. And she's feeling it now.
Well, and she got that 5th year to perform that opening there with a huge full in. You know, you talk to these athletes and they say, you know, they've missed out on a few years. Not only did the Pac-12 championship cancel in 2020, you know, last year we were in this building with no fans and the energy was completely different. While we were grateful to be here, so to be back in this building and have their family and friends cheering them on, I mean, it's something they're very appreciative of.
And for Kyla Bryant, she's gone through, like all gymnasts, the highs and the lows, and she said during tough times, for inspiration, she would watch tape of the Magnificent Seven from 1996 at the Atlanta Olympics, captained by my partner Amanda Borden. Well, if she watched it, it must have been on VHS. It was a long time ago. UCLA has taken the lead in session number 1. Bruins with a 49.375. So for UCLA, the beam rotation ended strong, but it started even better. Anna Potterio with a 9.9 in the leadoff.
Well, she has unique elements right there, starting with that back handspring onto the beam. Every time I see it, I think, how do you ever want to try that? tumbling element, difficult side aerial, back handspring layout. Step out anytime you have a turning element in connection, challenges your balance.
Pottererio, a 5-time Canadian national team member from Ontario, and in 2018 at the World Championships, won a silver medal on the balance beam.
And looking like she was having fun while up on the balance beam, always challenging.
Fans, the unofficial scores at the end of the third rotation.
Dismounting that side aerial, full twist.
So that was the 9-9, and then Childs went 9.85. Flatley, the high mark, 9.925. Campbell, 9.85. Sakti, 9.8. Malabuyo, 9.85. It all adds up to a 49.375. They end up dropping Sakti, who's a beam specialist. They didn't need her 9.8. And UCLA has taken the lead by 0.375. So the Bruins sitting at 147.525. Arizona now in second, but they're almost 4/10 back and will have to rally late. Washington is third, Stanford fourth, and in the all-around, Flatley and Hargrove tied, 29.575. You guys are going forward a time. We'll go forward a time as well if you want to watch it this way. Pac-12.com/now to find the 4 links so you can watch any individual event. You can follow your team around the room, or you can stay with us on the national feed. Jim Watson and Amanda Borden inside the Maverik Center in West Valley City, just outside of Salt Lake, 10 miles from the University of Utah campus. We expect the stands to be filled tonight for the night session, led by the Red Rocks, the 2-time defending champions, the University of Utah, California, who beat Utah during the regular season, Oregon State, and Arizona State. That's the second session tonight, 5 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Mountain, right here on the Pac-12 Network. Are we staying for that? We're doing that one as well?
Well, I am. I can't wait.
Somebody call my agent. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and the crowd's, of course, a little slow in coming back. Everybody wants to be sure. Top of the M, standing behind the scoreboard at the end of the vault runway for the Cardinal. What a job she's done already, and you knew she would, going back to where it all began for her. Stanford ranked 27th in the country on the vault. They are 38th, so they need to overachieve on this. Jade Krobach.
Yurchenko layout full. Had to pike it down just a little bit.
Well, coming in, 9 of her 10 scores on vault had been under 9. But then against Arizona State, it was Beeman-esque. You know what that means, Amanda? That means she went way and above anything she'd ever done before. Look up Bob Beeman. Just Google it. You'll know what I'm talking about. She went 9-9. To the floor, and Flatley, I believe, starting off for UCLA. And Flatley, one of our leaders in the all-around. Flatley and Arizona's Malia Hargrove tied going into the final rotation for the all-around lead.
Watch this, 3 twists, triple full, big air, nice control on the landing. She has 2 unique tumbling passes in this routine.
Flatley has gotten better as the day has worn on. She had a 9.8 on vault, 9.85 on bars, and just turned in a 9.925 on beam.
Another one right here, front double full, great landings. Always been known for her beautiful presentation. This specific routine has that sharp but elegant choreography. Combination to finish the routine. Back 1.5 front layout. Just last week, I believe she earned a 9.975. That should be a big start for this rotation for UCLA.
I know you were doing some math during the break, Amanda. We're looking for UCLA. You say mathematically impossible for UCLA to go 198?
It is. They'd have to break a 50.
Yeah. Arizona sitting in second as we start this final rotation. And Arizona on the bars.
Must be the altitude, you know. I remember my first time I came to Salt Lake and performed on floor. It is a different feeling. You lose your breath a little bit.
Muller started out Arizona with a 9.775, Serena Linton. Linton was in the lineup mid-season, 6 meets in a row on this event, had a 9.825 at Washington. Career best just a little better than that at 9.85. Time to go big.
Opening with a Tkachev. Combination for our transition down to the low bar. Solid holding that final cast handstand. And wrapping it up with a double layout.
Beautiful stuff.
Good for her.
Yeah, good for Serena Linton. Closes out her championships in style. Flatley, 9.875 again, was leading in the all-around along with Malia Hargrove of Arizona. Brooklyn Morris. First time you and I have seen Brooklyn today. She hasn't been in anything up until now. Starting off, Little Godfather.
Dramatic choreography to match the music. Watch this opening pass, front double full, punch front. Whoa, she looked a little stumbly on the connection.
Short, yeah, and then pulled it off. She's got 9.9 3 times on this routine.
UCLA always does such an incredible job of not just great performances, but really drawing you in with their facial expressions. Choreographer right there in the corner, BJ Doss, cheering her on for this final pass. Front 1.5 twist. Beautiful routine.
Holds it to the very end. Finishes with a smile. Brooks started on beam for Washington, 9.875. Navarro, a 9.75. Taylor Russin, who just got a 9.75 on bars, now to beam.
I had a chance to talk to the coaches about this rotation and finishing on the balance beam. I mean, is it good to start there? Is it good to finish? And they said, we like finishing here. It's a strong event for us. She described this lineup as natural beam workers.
Been a tough season for Russin on beam. And I'll leave it at that.
Well, no problem there. Beautiful back handspring layout, step out. Dismounting, 1.5 twist, little step of the right foot. but a great routine.
Stanford on the vault, started out slowly, coming on strong here at the end, and they give it to Kyla Bryant. Bryant on the vault, all of them have been at least 9.8, including a 9.925 against Cal.
Wow.
There you go. Yep, that's the way to go out. That a girl, Kyla.
Man. The power and the height, I mean, no questions asked there, but she just nailed that landing. A lot of times you see the feet pop up a little bit or not being able to control, but she comes into the table so aggressive, blocks with those shoulders square, and then doesn't move. In fact, holds it there while she celebrates.
Yep.
You know,
She
hey,
said,
judges.
You see that? I'll be here all day. Look at that.
Now, if we see a 9.95 come up, that means it's a perfect score. That's the best she can get on that vault.
Of course, they're going to drop the 9.5 from earlier in the rotation, so it's really going to bump their score. They gave Brian a 9.9. Brian gets a 9.9. Allison Fears will be up as soon as Elena Dietz's score is in on bars. So for Stanford, it's a 49.15 rotation. Everybody else still in play. No score in on Dietz. Now it's in. 9.825 for Dietz. Arizona trying to hold on to second in the session. And again, for teams like Washington and Arizona, they were looking for specific scores. Now, Washington is hosting a regional, so they're going to be at home. You want to lock into the top 28. Washington came in as number 29. So they were looking for something 195 plus, 195, 2, 3, somewhere in there, just to lock down a top 28 seed. Arizona was looking for more, a 196, 375 plus.
Well, and the key on this event, John Cart told me, is that 2 through 4 spot need to be solid. And that's exactly what they've done. 2 routines left. Allison Fears hitting every handstand, aggressive there. Looking for a clean landing. Double layout, legs glued in the air. And that is 5 great routines for Arizona. They still have their all-arounder, Malia Hargrove, in that anchor spot.
You got to be impressed with what Arizona has done coming in. Toughest spot beginning on beam. Malabuyo just went 9.925 for UCLA on floor. Here's Paulina Trotz, her only event of the day. And Paulina Trotz, one of a handful of champions returning on the floor. She had a 9.9 against Cal. She's had a 9.925 twice. And one of UCLA's last connections to the 2018 National Championship squad.
Double pike, went
Step
out of bounds.
Down, flag goes up.
One of the most expressive performers we will see. Always has a theme to her routine. This one, she is a magician. Final pass, double tuck. Hard to see if she went out of bounds there or not.
The flag in that corner, or at least the closest flag to that corner, stayed down. So as UCLA finishing on floor, Washington putting together a good rotation. 3 scores of 9.8 better, a couple of 9.875s. And now Skylar Kilho-Wilhelm and then Lauren Thomas. Skylar's gone 8, 8, 9 times on beam this year. At a 9-9 against Utah. That Utah meet, even though they didn't beat Utah, was the night I said, wow, Washington has really improved, and there's somebody you got to watch at Pac-12s.
Beautiful triple series there, 3 elements connected. Just a few weeks ago at their tri-meet, she also scored a 9.925. Kick over front, nice amplitude, landing up nice and tall. Setting up for the dismount. Side aerial. 1.5 twist to a great landing. 5 solid scores locked in for Washington in this final rotation. The low score, that 9.75, that's what they're going to hope to knock out with the final routine.
Hargrove went 9-9 on bars for Arizona, so a great day for Hargrove. Should be in second place in the all-around behind Flatley. Back to the floor, UCLA, Jordan Childs. They're going to want to trot score. And UCLA still has 3 scores, 9-8, 7-5 or better, and Shea Campbell still to come.
Huge first pass. Stayed in bounds.
Remember, Childs has been perfect on floor twice.
She loves to perform. You can see it in every step and movement in this routine. Combination. Front to double tuck. Great mix of music throughout this routine and lots of personality. My favorite move coming up, she does a dive roll like she's flying through the air.
Yeah, it always makes me flinch, but she's so smooth right here. It's unbelievable how smooth it is and how dangerous it is.
Finishing it up, double pike.
That's going to get a big score. UCLA trying to finish the first session on top. Post a big number for the 4 to come tonight. How about Skylar Killow-Wilhelm going 9-9 and Lauren Thomas to finish the meet for Washington. So Washington already has a 49-2 for the rotation. And if they can beat Navarro's 9.75, they bump that number.
Their best is a 49.45, so that'd get them close. Tumbling combination, kick over front to the back handspring. She did a nice job of keeping fluid movement between those 2 elements.
Lauren had a 9.85 on beam at Metroplex a couple weeks ago.
Dismounting 1.5 twist, slide hop. But great rotation, 6 for 6 on the balance beam. It's a great way to finish the meet.
Childs 9.875. So UCLA has booked a 49.15 already with Shea Campbell.
Full twisting double back. Came up a little short, did a nice job holding on there. Shea has also earned 2 perfect 10s on this event. Flying double tuck to finish it out. They're definitely gonna bump that score, dropping the 9.575. Shea has such incredible amplitude and height. I have to wonder if she came up short here because she was worried about going out of bounds on the podium, but great job keeping that to 1 step, and she didn't show it in her face and finish strong.
And regardless of the score for Shea Campbell, UCLA is going to have the top score out of the early session. To recap this 4th rotation, Stanford just went 49.15. They finished at 196 flat. Arizona 49.2, 196.35. They're going to finish 2nd. Washington just behind with a 196.3. UW went 49.25. And still waiting on the final score for Campbell, but UCLA will win the session. So it should go UCLA, Arizona, Washington, and Stanford. We'll have all the numbers when we come back. This weekend, all over the country, Salt Lake City, the Capitol building, inside the Maverik Center in West Valley. UCLA came in as the favorite in this session, and it held up, a 196.95. Chris Waller, their head coach, joins us now. Chris, I'm looking at your scores. They got better as you went along. 49.025 on vault, 49.125 on bars, 49.375 on beam, 49.425. You want to come back for a 5th rotation?
Yeah, let's go for a 5th and go all the way through again. It took our team a little bit to get going, and it looked like they were trying to be a little bit too perfect, trying to get after those landings like a little too much. And as the meet kept going, you saw them just let it flow, and they got better and better. Really exciting to see them go up on beam here and just have a great day today on beam and finish out with some big floor routines. And, you know, it's good to come out with a W, but most importantly, they just kept getting better throughout the day.
Well, I think that's what was so impressive to us. It was not maybe your best on the first rotations, but what does it say about the fight in this team to come back on those back 2 events and continue to get better and put up those big scores?
You know, when you start out with a big event and you get a couple big scores, there's this momentum that's inevitable. And we had to create our own momentum and our own drive through the whole thing because we just didn't click. It didn't come easy. And they just kept doing that. And by the end, we felt that. So super proud of their character. They just decided they would do it, and they stepped up.
Chris, you could talk about anybody on your roster, but I want to ask you about your senior Nora Flatley and how good she was today. 39.45 in the all-around. She goes 9.8, 9.85, 9.925, and a 9.925. She's just been impeccable and unflappable all year.
I mean, it's amazing that she's doing the all-around. You know, she had struggled to get into the all-around during her previous 3 years at UCLA, and now she's been able to somehow figure out her body and get healthier and get out there and do it. And with harder routines, I mean, 2 E's on floor, she's stepped up. She's been incredible meet after meet after meet.
Fantastic job by you and your coaching staff this year. Congratulations. Another good score today, 196.95.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Jim.
Chris Waller in his 3rd season. And now for the Bruins. Well, is it easy or is it tough? They put on their sweats, they go have a bite, come back and watch the night session and see how long that number holds up. The second session, the night session with the top 4 seeds coming up at 5 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Mountain. Utah, California, Oregon State, Arizona State, all top 20 teams. And that's where everything gets exciting, because we already know what 4 teams have done, and we can start comparing it. We can start handing out trophies, and ultimately, we will decide a Pac-12 champion. For Amanda Borden, I'm Jim Watson. We will meet you back at the Maverik Center, 5 o'clock Pacific, 6 Mountain. We'll see you then.